Man, that
Woody, are you a knife guy? Someone was telling me.
I do like knives. Yeah,
you do like knives.
Yeah, he's got a little Mexican in him.
Mm-hmm. you got like a little collection.
He is what I like to call a student of the blade.
Have you ever bought a knife from PKA Knives? Do you know those guys?
I have. We had a knife once, but I've never heard of the PKA. We go to Blade HQ and some other one. I forget.
Because my buddy owns a knife warehouse, and it's where I want to retire.
In a knife warehouse.
They used to be in Vegas, but then his brother got a bunch of cocaine with fentanyl in it and died, and he left the whole business to my buddy. So my buddy's like, I guess I run one of the third largest mail order knife company in America now. Yeah, and he moved the whole thing to New Hampshire, and then he's just got a big warehouse full of knives and a bunch of weird Russians, and they just ship knives around the country.
Are you a knife guy? If so, what's in your pocket right now?
No, I'm not a knife guy, but I'm always calling him up, and I'm like, what's up in the world of knives? Like, any good stabbings lately? And he's like, that's not how the knife world works.
So I'm not into knives. I'm not into knives. I have a few. They're not very special. But what I am into, although I don't have any, is swords. I like swords. Now, I don't want to be that fucking
stupid question. Can you
fucking...
Yeah. Dude, I pray you get into swords in your late 30s.
Dude, get into swords.
Dude, swords you need to be the sword guy. Fuck the Zippo guy.
I got some plastic swords back there.
I'm going back to toothpick guy. I'm sorry. I took a step too far.
No, sword guy. Commit.
Don't knock me.
Do it.
You can have toothpick guy. I remember when we picked these, when we drafted these, I'm still leaning on the wall, flipping a coin guy. And I think that's a cool guy.
I really want to see you incompetently try to slice through one.
You also do that thing where you like walking across.
That'd be great.
I want to tune in to a new episode of PKA, and we go, Kyle, what new sword did you get this week? And you go, well, this
every episode, Kyle has more bandages on his fingers.
He's like, dumbass, this is a katana, not a sword.
This is a.
I don't want to select.
Who got you katana?
Whenever I look at them, what I would want is something that took a lot of time to make and was like well crafted. From what I understand,
find us a sword example that we could link up, like something
Fear
that
not
you
the man with a
would love
$1,000 sword. Feel the man with $1,001
sword. Dream blade.
Yeah,
I'm not doing it to make fun of you.
I would want. Fuck you.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh. I love it. How did you get that footage of me?
That guy had a gladius. That was a cool sword. So that's neat.
I don't think that was a gladius.
Oh, I thought it was.
I would want
short sword.
I would not want a katana because I feel like that's so cringe. And from what I understand, the reason they fold that steel 1,000 fucking times is because Japanese ore is so shitty. But I would like maybe something from my ancestors, so I'm not being such a poseur. Like maybe some sort of Scottish broadsword or something, some sort of English weapon of some kind, like not a giant long sword because those look so unwieldy. And
claymore
also, yeah, that's too big. I want something that you could sort of hold in one hand and sort of like wave about when no one's looking.
What's a curved sword called? It's
a falchion.
Scabbard.
Oh, a scimitar.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. The scimitar with a feather on it. It's cool, right?
Oh, like one of those, like almost.
Need to be a pirate with a feather in my hat.
Some swords, Zach. Let us.
Like you picture a guy like riding a camel with
like women have gemstones. Men should have swords for each month. There should be if you're a Taurus, like this is the sword that.
Right. Yeah, like if you're born in March, you're a freaking gladius guy, and in April is a. Katana.
What sign are you, Taylor?
Taurus.
Oh, me too.
Really?
Yeah.
See, that's why we get along, or it's why we butt heads, whatever it says.
Yes. So the gladius is cool. I feel like I would be proud to own a fine, well-made gladius. Some of the others are so thin. I feel
gladius is cool.
I want to
honestly of all those, gladius is the coolest.
Swiss saber, right? Just below the middle.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
You remember just drawing swords as a kid? Just being like, look at this cool sword I drew.
Yeah, dude, it was all swords.
I remember all of elementary school was like hanging out with a bunch of guys at like lunch, and we're like, "Hey, let's see who can draw the coolest sword." And we did that a lot.
We used to have sword
perennial winners and losers.
We had
sword fights too, but then we got detention because
we'd hit each other with sticks, pretending.
I was homeschooled, so we just had to go to the doctor after.
Kyle,
I am tempted to
losing
become a
record versus
knife guy,
Dan.
though. I'm like slowly going down the rabbit
I do
hole
have a
of
losing
becoming a
record.
knife guy.
Knives are cool. There aren't
What
too many
kind-
things in our lives that are built to a high craftsman quality, right? Like, your dishwasher is garbage. It's going to be ruined in 4 years. I don't know, your whole life, your fucking Wi-Fi router, your keyboard, if you don't have a great one, everything is just consumer grade bullshit.
You can
But
tear
they
it
make
apart with your bare
knives
hands.
that are done well.
Did I say PKA knives? Because I meant PVK. Sorry.
PVK. That makes more
Take a look
sense.
at that link I just sent real quick, because I always look at I'm like, man, my buddy's all so enthusiastic about these, and I'm like, I kind of get it. They're pretty cool.
I found some gladiuses.
I like it. Dude needs.
And then he would always tell me stories about in Vegas, like, God, who's the guy who made Nightmare? Tim Burton would come in, and he's like fanciful Tim Burton garb, and be like, "Show me your most magical knives." And he'd take
There's no way they got
back
permission from that actress from Vikings.
Oh, that looks sick.
Dude, Kyle, you can't afford not to get a Centurion Gladius for $245. Look at that. Look at the beautiful pommel. on it.
Oh, look at that pommel. I do like a.
Think of the
good-
dogs at the dog park
fat
when they
pommel.
bully Murphy.
Oh,
The blow
I
you'll
would
be able
cut-
to deliver.
I would cut them down like chaff.
Oh,
He has a
He'd be covered in
Microtech out
blood.
the front automatic knife. I have that one.
Those are
Oh yeah,
cool
the
knives.
Microtechs are like the most popular ones, right?
yeah, those are
Of course.
Oh yeah, that
Like
one in the top left. I have it in black.
Like 90% of what they sell is
It's
the
red in that
Microtechs.
picture. Yeah.
They're pretty badass.
Get that bottle of knife lube there, because you don't want to use some like fucking oil or some shit. Yeah, get that knife pivot lube, that KPL.
I got knife lube right here, baby.
Yeah, Kyle, you don't lube your knives daily?
The fact that you pulled that out is blowing my mind so hard right now.
I'm
For those of you who are audio
poser.
only, I was making fun of the fact
I
that
got
knife
knives.
store sells knife-specific
Oh,
pivot
yeah.
lube, and I thought it was silly. And Woody not only owns some and has some, it's within reach.
Yeah. It was in his knife lube holster. Right on his side.
I keep it on my belt.
Hold on, sir. Before we engage in fisticuffs, allow me to oil my blade. Yeah. Anyway,
The problem is you
Kyle,
buy all these
here's the
knives,
story
and then
now.
it's like you only get the opportunity to cut someone like once every couple years, right?
Mhm.
I open
And
boxes
you're going to
with-
end up getting cut too. And
I
What
think
I
it's home
actually carry
defense.
is a Leatherman.
Yeah.
I think knife guys, they prefer, I don't know, something more knifey, but I use my Leatherman every day, all the time.
Do you always look forward to like a knife specific task? You're like, oh, you need someone to cut that rope into 536-inch strands? Well, sha-sha! Yeah. Wow, that knife opened quickly. Yeah, I use my knife pivot loop.
I use the knife to open boxes, and I cut tubes a lot because I keep this fish tank thing, and I always seem to be busting with a tube here or there. But I use the scissors and the file on my fingernails. I like my fingernails short, probably too short. It's probably not the most cosmetic way to do it, but it's how I like them. So all my fingernails and toenails are short from my file and scissors. What do you have, Kyle?
Is that a blade?
I've got my my
Oh, you have a
fancy
grooming
blade.
kit of some
Yeah,
sort.
this weird grooming kit. I think it's for shaving calluses off because it comes with very aggressive blades.
Yeah, and you keep
I've
that in
been-
your gaming
I've
place?
been using it for
Oh.
marijuana concentrate though. You really clean it up well. You don't waste any. And if you ever do have a callus, these are really aggressively sharp. Can't tell,
Oh.
but they're like super duper sharp.
Jeez.
Yeah, but
Jeez, that's
yeah.
scary.
But
man.
this is the most aggressive file. This file is so aggressive. I don't like to touch it. It's like I got I got fast food the other day, and I got they gave me a fucking paper straw, and I recoiled when I felt what a paper straw felt like on my fingers. I'm one of the
Feels
I
bad on
don't
your
like-
lips too.
like I've
Yeah,
got
that's
some-
what it gets.
Feels
So
tacky.
I'm not alone in this. I think it's fairly common that like if you ever lick the wooden popsicle stick, I get like shivers. I
Yep.
hate it.
yeah, what is that? What is
don't
that?
know.
Oh, it's more common than I thought. Yeah,
It's
so
this
paper
cringe
straws
that's
do
built-
that to me a little.
Yeah, I get that
It's-
with paper. Ooh, I'm
it's a
getting
lot
it
of things
now.
for-
I'm getting it vicariously.
cotton. So it's cotton. It's dry hands, like handling paper,
Scraping
or
a fork
something.
across a plate.
Yeah, fork with knife and knife and fork on like ceramic, nail on the chalkboard. If you bite a popsicle stick when it's sideways and it like that's such a weird feel. It's like that aluminum foil on fillings kind of thing. It's this cringy, awful thing that
I had a buddy.
Dude, I
who
threw
was-
that straw like it was a snake.
I want to whatever that kid was who's like, did you know that these plastic straws could hurt turtles? It was like a little 8-year-old kid who went around all these. I want to beat the shit out of that kid. If I ever see that kid in the street, that fucking turtle kid,
Oh yeah,
you're the reason. We have
I hope
paper
fucking
straws.
ISIS found him.
I hope everybody in his school knows who he is, and I hope he's having a bad time.
You are telling me this is the motherfucker? Like,
I just sent him videos to smash
Ever
box.
seen America?
DoorDash.
You're allowed to bully that kid, and no one will hold it against you. You can do anything you want.
Fuck
to.
that guy. And it didn't
I
say
hate-
any turtle.